The Halo series is many things. Subtle is not one of them, especially when it comes to its heroes. From the moment Master Chief steps onto the battlefield clad in green armor and armed with enough firepower to solve most problems through force alone, it is clear that he is meant to be unstoppable. He does not hesitate, he does not philosophize, he does not complain. He receives the mission, executes it, and moves on, occasionally pausing only long enough to deliver a short, stoic one-liner before resuming the process of saving humanity.
Tell that to the Covenant.
He is the purest expression of the science fiction soldier archetype, efficient, disciplined, and emotionally opaque, in a way that somehow makes him more iconic rather than less. And then there is the Arbiter, who arrives with considerably more emotional baggage and a sword that glows like it's powered by unresolved trauma. Where Chief exists as a forward motion incarnate, the Arbiter exists in the aftermath of failure. His story does not begin with triumph, but with disgrace, stripped of rank, honor, for a mistake that was not truly his own. He is introduced not as a hero, but as a warning, an example of what happens when loyalty is repaid with blame. While the Chief charges ahead with unwavering purpose, the Arbiter is forced to stop and reckon with the uncomfortable possibility that everything he has ever believed might be wrong. This contrast is not incidental. It is the foundation upon which Halo quietly builds its emotional depth. The Chief, after all, does not spend much time questioning the moral implications of his actions. He is not designed to. He is a weapon, albeit a very polite one, and his effectiveness depends on that simplicity. His silence is part of his power. He does not argue with his superiors, for the most part, nor does he spiral into an existential doubt. If something needs to be destroyed, he destroys it. If humanity needs saving, he saves it. This clarity makes him an ideal protagonist for a fast-paced shooter, but it also means that his internal life remains largely untouched. He moves through the story like gravity, constant, inevitable, and rarely discussed. The Arbiter, by contrast, cannot stop talking about what things mean. His dialogue is drenched in religious language, guilt, and self-recrimination. He questions orders, he mourns lost beliefs, he delivers speeches that sound as though they were written by someone who just realized their entire religion was a lie and is still working through it. Where the Chief says little and does much, the Arbiter does both, and often at the same time. Through him, Halo gains a voice capable of asking the kinds of questions Master Chief never would, such as whether blind faith is virtuous, or what happens when duty collides with truth. What makes this dynamic especially compelling is that the Arbiter's struggle is not abstract. His faith in the Covenant was total, and its collapse is not merely political, but deeply personal. When he learns that the Great Journey is a fabrication, he is forced to confront the fact that he has committed atrocities in service of a lie. This is not the sort of revelation one shrugs off between firefights. It reshapes his identity, turning him from a symbol of religious authority into something far more fragile and interesting. A believer forced to rebuild himself from nothing. Meanwhile, Master Chief continues doing what he has always done, which is saving the galaxy with remarkable efficiency and almost no commentary. And yet, rather than feeling shallow beside the Arbiter, he becomes more compelling because of him. The Chief represents action without introspection. The Arbiter represents introspection forged through suffering. One moves forward because he must, the other moves forward because he has chosen to, despite everything he has lost. Even the gameplay reflects this contrast. The Chief charges into battle with an arsenal that encourages direct confrontation. Meanwhile, the Arbiter is equipped with cloaking technology and a preference for precision, and he survives through caution and adaptability. It is a subtle but effective way of reinforcing who these characters are at their core. One overwhelming the world through force, the other navigating it carefully after learning the cost of certainty. Now, this is the lore variant, so to speak. However, when one plays as the Arbiter, you already know you're going in flying across rooms with your energy sword, slicing and dicing anyone or anything in your path. Even if it takes you a moderate amount of tries. And when the two finally fight alongside one another, the result feels less like a traditional alliance and more like a philosophical handshake. They are not friends in the conventional sense, nor do they need to be. They represent two responses to chaos, endurance and reflection, and Halo is stronger for allowing both to exist. The Chief shows us how to keep going, meanwhile the Arbiter shows us why it matters to question the path we're on. And in the end, the brilliance of Halo lies not just in its action or its lore, but in this unlikely pairing. One is a near-silent super soldier who solves problems with bullets and determination. The other is a disgraced zealot turned rebel who solves problems with hard-earned wisdom and occasionally a glowing energy sword. Together they form a narrative balance that gives the series its emotional weight. Because without the Arbiter, Halo would be a thrilling shooter, but without the Chief, it would forget how to move forward. And somehow, against all odds, the story is better for having both. Anyway, time for more 20-year-old games. See ya!